Hi everyone, I'm Chef Leroy and welcome to my cozy kitchen. Well, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I certainly am. And today I wanted to share a really interesting dish. It's kind of my twist on a very traditional Indian dish. This is eaten all over the country of India. I'm gonna make red lentil curry. It's also called dal. So mine's gonna be a little bit non-traditional because most often it is served vegetarian. I'm actually going to use chicken breast in mine. And I do have a little bit of chicken stock that I'm going to use. I'm using this liquid chicken concentrate. And I'm also going to do mine with yellow curry, which is a little bit different twist as well. But I will go over all these steps with you throughout this video. Anyway, let me show you what we need for this recipe. All right, guys, so here are the ingredients you're going to need. First of all, I'll show you what you need to start with. You'll need a pot, okay, with a spoon. We're going to need olive oil, and it can't be lentil without the lentil. I have 2 cups of red lentil. Now, 2 cups of red lentil actually equals 1 bag. Now, this is also found bulk, so if you find the bulk, it's a little bit cheaper. Although this is the everyday essentials, and I got this at Cub. It's fairly reasonable. But again, 1 pound, okay, of red lentil. I have 1 pound of chicken breast. I have 2 large Roma tomatoes. I have I actually have 3 cloves of garlic. I wanted large ones. I don't have quite big enough ones, so I'm going to use a 1/3 smaller one. You can also use a tablespoon of minced garlic, but we're going to use fresh garlic. I have 1 large yellow onion. I've got a large red bell pepper. I've got 2 juicer carrots, 2 russet potatoes. I've got a 1/4 cup of my liquid chicken stock that I'm going to use. Now you can use chicken stock or you can just use straight up water, especially if you're doing a vegetarian style. Obviously omit the chicken and omit any chicken stock, unless you don't mind the chicken stock part of it. Then we need, we'll go back into the herbs. So in this bowl here, I've got 6 bay leaf and a 1/2 teaspoon of dry thyme. And in this bowl here, I've got yellow curry. Now, if you look up these recipes for dal online, they have a lot of different spices that go in there. If you want to cut a corner, just get some yellow curry. It basically has all those ingredients in yellow curry. So I'm using 2 tablespoons of yellow curry. And I've also got garam masala, okay? Or masala, sorry, garam masala. And I'm using 2 teaspoons of this powder in there as well. All right, so you got all the ingredients. Then we're going to use 1 can of coconut milk, and I'm using the light coconut milk. And this is a 13.5 ounce can. And when we get everything thrown together, we're also gonna use 4 cups of water. But before we can get all that going, we need to chop up our vegetables. So the first thing I will do though, is I will add a tablespoon of olive oil to my pot. Another pan other than a nonstick, you could use 2 tablespoons. I have a nonstick pan, so I'm only gonna use 1 tablespoon. Kind of cuts down on the oil anyway, right? Okay. All right, I'm gonna cut the ends off the onion. Cut it in half and give it a peel. Okay, now, the grain is going this direction, okay? So we want to cut toward the grain, or with the grain. And I want this onion to be pretty small diced. So when you keep these slices small, your dice will be small, especially when you come back across this way. Okay, just like so. When you get down to the end, you can drop your onion flat on the board and then cut around, just like that, okay? And then just give it a chop through and throw that right into your pot, okay? Ooh, these onions are strong. Now generally this is a pretty heavy onion dish. All these other vegetables I'm adding are pretty much not standard except for tomato. Okay, just like that. right, there we go. Just give it a chop through. And right in your pot. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we'll get this garlic in there. Give it a little smash. Again, I'm using 3 of these cloves. I don't have bigger ones, so I'm trying to use these up from a previous meal. I want to cut this really small. Okay, just chop that up nice and small, throw that in your pot, okay? Now, like I said, if you don't have fresh, you can use minced garlic as well. All right, I got my 2 juicer carrots. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get these peeled. All right, let's go ahead and dice those carrots. I'll cut the stem end off and your other end off. All right, what I like to do with carrot is I like to cut them down a little bit smaller so they're easier to manage. And then split them. And I'm going to cut these into thirds. I want a smaller dice. Okay, so just like that. Just like that, guys. Okay. And continue. All right, usually when I get to these bigger pieces here, it's kind of the stem end where it's a little bit larger. I might cut them down a little bit smaller. As you can see, I'm splitting these. I want all the vegetables to be about the same size. Red bell pepper set up here. Okay. Split it, seed it. All right. Do a little julienne cut here. Okay. Again, I'm trying to get all my vegetables to be about the same size. All right, so go ahead and throw your red pepper in your pot. Again, this is not traditional with this dish. This is completely my twist on that. Go ahead and slice your pepper like I'm doing here. Okay. And there you go. And in the pot. Okay. Now this goes on the stove. And then what we'll do is I'm going to get this russets peeled and diced, and I'm going to get my Romas diced as well, and then we're going to get the chicken going. So let's get our veggies on the stove. All right, I got my veg on the stove. I'm going to throw in my thyme and my bay leaf. So again, I've got a half a teaspoon of thyme and I have 6 bay leaf. Okay. Already have the garlic in there. 1 tablespoon of oil, 1 medium to large onion, 2 large juicer carrots, and 1 large red bell pepper. Look how beautiful that is. Nice color, huh? Okay, I'm going to put that on a medium-high heat. We're going to go ahead and let that cook, and I'm going to work on my potatoes and my tomatoes. All right, the first thing I want to do is peel my potatoes. I'm going to do these first. I'm going to put these in water. They're not going into the dish right away. They'll go in later. But I want to just get these peeled and get them in water. So just get a nice peel, just like that, okay? And continue. There you go. And clean your board. All right, I got a dish of water right here. I'm going to put the potatoes right in there as I cut them up, okay? So we're going to cut these into slabs like this, about a 1/2 inch slab. Be careful so it doesn't roll on you, so you don't cut yourself. And then cut them lengthwise and just like that, and put it right in the water. Keep them turning brown until you're ready to throw them into your dish. Okay, just like this. And continue. Okay, and there you go. There's your potatoes, ready to roll, okay? So the next thing we're gonna work on is these romas. So cut off the stem end, like so. Again, we're dicing these, so you wanna cut them into planks, like I did the potatoes. Right down. Trying to cut the vegetables all the same as the ones that are in the pot. Potatoes are a little bit bigger, but tomatoes we want to be about the same size. Just like that, okay? And continue. Okay guys, so I've got a bowl here. I'm gonna put my tomatoes right into the bowl. Okay, everything right in the bowl. Okay, just like that, all right. Now we're gonna clean that board off and we're gonna go ahead and cut that chicken. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cut the bag open, the chicken. And I like to pull that out nice and easy. Let all the juice stay in the bag. Lay them on this board. As you notice, I'm using my nylon board and not my wood board. And I'm using it for everything. And the reason I did that is because I knew I was going to be cutting chicken. And I don't have to cut or clean two different cutting boards. Okay. Now, go ahead and cut your chicken into strips. Now this is a pretty big chicken breast. So if they're big, like this one is, see how wide it is? And what I can do is cut this in half again to make smaller pieces. Just like this. Okay? You want them to kind of match up with your potatoes. That's what you want, your piece of chicken. Now these will shrink a bit too. But that's kind of the goal, is that most things are all about the same size. I'm going to cook this chicken with the vegetables that are in my pot. I'll show you that in a minute here. Just go ahead and get all this cut up. And continue. And that's what you got, okay? And go ahead and cut the other one up as well. And there you go. So the chicken is completely cut. And it's ready for the pan. All right, let's get over to our pan. I'll show you what everything's looking like. All right, so I had turned this down a little bit while I was doing all this filming stuff, so it wasn't as hot as it should be. I got it back up on more of a high temperature here. And what you want to do is cook your onions until they become clear. Which they are just about right where they should be. And then what I want to do is add my raw chicken. I'll go ahead and throw that right in. I'll cook that right in with the vegetables. So this is a one-pot meal, which is awesome. This will be really good. And what I want to do is cook the chicken off until you'll start to see it turn white when it's finishing up. And then I'm going to add the fresh tomatoes to it and cook those for a little bit. Now, while you're doing this, go ahead and rinse off your lentil. I didn't talk to you about that in the beginning of this, but make sure you rinse it off. Look through it, make sure there's no rocks. Sometimes those peas and beans and stuff might have small rocks or something in it. And you just want to make sure you rinse anything out of there that shouldn't be in it. All right, let's let that cook. Let's see what we got going on here. Very nice, looking good. You can see that some of the chicken is turning white, which means it's getting cooked through. I think this is going to be a fantastic dish. Now, I've had this before as a vegetarian style, and it was fantastic. And I'm making it very similar to that, but I did change these other items in there. All right, let's go ahead and throw the tomato in there. Give that a nice stir. Okay, we're just going to let that cook for about 5 minutes. Again, I still have it up on pretty much on a high temperature here. All right, we're back to the pan, and we're going to add our lentil, which is now in a big block because we washed it. So let's break that up in there. It'll fall apart as you put this water in there. Go ahead and add your 4 cups of water. That. We're going to add our 1 can of coconut milk. And we're going to go ahead and add that 1/4 cup of our liquid chicken concentrate that I have. I don't know, it might be a little tight with those potatoes in there. We'll see. I might have a little bit too small of a pot. This is the first time I've made it. All right, let's give that a little stir. Oh, it looks good right now. I'm thinking that the taste is going to be fantastic. All right, next thing I want to do is get those potatoes in there. But now I'm worried that I don't have enough room. So let me see how it looks while we get that rolling. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add my curry, which this again is, it's 2 tablespoons of yellow curry and 2 teaspoons of garam masala seasoning, which is a powder. There you go. Look at that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and drain those potatoes and get them in the pan here. Okay, my potatoes are here. Go ahead and take your time and add them to it, and look at that, it fits. Probably try to use a little bit larger pan next time, but I only have these smaller ones. I really need to get a big old 8-quart. That's what I need. All right, that looks good. This will cook down too, so don't worry about it too much. All right, guys, we're just going to let that cook. I'll bring it up to a boil, and then we'll reduce it down to a bit of a simmer, and we'll show you what it all looks like when everything is complete. Okay, guys, I'm going to do a little recap on our curry red lentil dish that we made today. So one thing for sure, write things down. Obviously, one of the things I'll write in my recipe is try to use a bigger pot. I got a little bit tight on this one. It's all in there. It all fit fine, and it's cooking nicely. And again, at the end of this video, I will post a photograph of what the dish looks like. And one thing I wanted to add to this, so one thing you can do as an additional condiment to add to your red lentil, or dal, if you want to call it that. That's the Indian verbiage on that. Use a little bit of cilantro and green onion. I'm going to actually chop these and mix them together like a little bit of a side dish to put on top. And then get yourself some tzatziki sauce, unless you want to make your own. But I just picked this up to make it simpler for my dish. Now, again, I'm using red lentil. A 1-pound bag equals 2 cups. And the other thing I did is I used yellow curry, which will save you a lot of money buying all those additional seasonings. You don't have to get all those. You could just use yellow curry. They all are pretty much in this anyway, like turmeric and cumin and stuff. But if you want to make your own, that's fine too. There are a lot of recipes online. You can follow those if you'd like. Mine is more my style, different. Usually, again, this dal is served with white rice. I have potatoes in mine, so I'm not doing that step. But I will say, sorry, I'm off camera a bit. Get some naan bread. Serve it with your favorite naan. This is the stuff from Costco. It's actually very nice bread. We're going to use that as our side dish tonight. The other thing is I bought light coconut milk. You can use whatever type you want. This is actually organic. Why did I buy organic? Well, it was actually cheaper. That's why I bought organic. So anyway, hopefully the video was easy enough to follow along with. I gave you a lot of the, well, you saw the ingredients that go into it. Very non-traditional dal is what I made. But anyway, I will post a photograph at the end of the video so you can see exactly what the dish looked like when we served it. And otherwise, if you have any comments, please leave them in the comments below. If you like the video, please give me some thumbs up, hit that notification bell, ding, 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 ding. And also, you know, subscribe. Subscriptions are free. All it does is give you a notification when a video comes out. So, but it really helps the channel. I really appreciate you guys that have been doing that already and watching the show, watching my channel. And otherwise, again, I hope the video was easy enough to follow along with, and you guys enjoy this dish. Please try it. I'm going to for sure because I cooked it for my dinner tonight. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Chef Leroy and out. All right, guys, we're gonna dish up our red lentil curry dish. Look at that. That looks unbelievable. Again, traditionally it's served with rice, but we cooked ours with potato in it, and I have chicken in here as well. That looks so good. I will take a picture of this as well with the condiment on top that I did, which is cilantro and green onion chopped and tzatziki sauce.